Hey guys, what's up? Alright. It's the old double deuce back here. Today, we ported the intake manifold. As you can see, it's aluminum looking, just like the old muscle car days there, you know. And I'm going to throw out some video of it. I'm going to do a comparison of when I first got it running, and then when I ported it. So I'm a happy camper right now. Happy days. Yeah, buddy. So anyway, so here's what I did, and I'll let you know right now before we get into the run video. Okay, we got our calipers. Always buy these things, guys. I'm telling you, you can use them for whatever. I mean, this hobby, you know, we got to have them. I'm going to set this for millimeters because most of the world, like nowadays, everybody's millimeters. I'm an old school SAE guy. You know what that means? You know, you had a 3/8 bolt, a 7/16 bolt, you know, and a 1/2 inch bolt. So it was and a 1/4 inch bolt. Had a lot of those in the cars back in the day. I'll zero this out. So what I did was I took the plugs out of I took the intake rate off, carbs off, and I looked to see how big I could possibly go with this intake manifold, because the way they made it, it is sketchy to drill through it, okay? But I figured, you know, I remember my son and my father, they're not with us right now, but they lived their lives by, you only live once, so F it up right the first time. So I said, you know what, even if I screw the intake up, I can always fix it with JB Weld, because every engine manifold thing I've cracked, aluminum intakes especially, I've fixed them so many times with JB Weld. So if you guys remember on my last video, we had just a little over 3 millimeter runners on this thing going into a 4 millimeter in the head. Okay, and then we had just a little under 4 millimeters running to the front carb, and then there's a space in the center they didn't machine, and then it comes in the back. Well, I left that space there. You know, I was going to drill completely through it, but I remember from my old big block Chevy days, if you didn't have a divider, okay, in like I think they call it the plenum area, the ZL1 and the L88 427 Camaro Chevelles and Corvettes, they cut that plenum right down to like nothing. So there was they weren't made to idle. They were made to run wide open, okay? So I had to make a decision here and say, you know what, if need be, if it doesn't give me the results I want, then I'll drill completely through it. So long story short, I used it's just a little over, I think, whoop, hold on, let me turn it around here for you guys. It's a little over 5 millimeters, like, hold on, I'm coming up at 557 on this drill bit I have, because this is a snap-on wire drill because they step up in really small increments. That I ran in front and back to the dead stop in the middle. Then I ran a 445, okay, through the ports. Now this is probably a little too big, but like I said, I can always fix it with JB Weld, and I did. If you look inside the ports here, I only had a couple that weren't true that went through, and I just taped off my intake manifold bolts down here, and I taped off my top plenum, and I just ran a little JB Weld down and let it dry today. So am I happy with the results? Hell yeah, I'm tickled. This thing, you can hear the thing like turn on now, you know, like, and now it's, I don't know what the RPMs are because I don't have a gun, but I did use my my temp gun here, and it was starting to boil over at the very end there because I still don't have my fan hooked up. I just wanted to see what this thing would take, and it was 190 at the front of the engine, okay? And everywhere else was like, you know, like 180, 178, you know what I mean? It was pretty cool back here. But, you know, coming back out the top here, and like I say, I got very short hoses and everything else here. But, you know, even right now, because I just ran this thing, it's 107 degrees, you know, so it's not, it doesn't boil the fuel out until you really crank on this thing. So let's get to the run video, guys, and I hope you like it. I mean, because it was a, you know, a seat of the pants thing. Like, a lot of people say, hey, you know what, you don't know numbers, you don't know this, and you don't know calculations and everything, because I never had to learn them, because where I grew up, it was seat of your pants. When we stock car raced, everything we did was like Smokey Yunick, you know. We experimented with everything. Yeah, we ruined some parts. Yeah, we did. I probably got 5 sets of like open chamber, you know, enclosed chamber, high performance big block heads that we ruined trying to port them, you know. So, and you know what? I probably could have fixed them too with JB Weld, and we could have got back out on the track again. But you know, you're running for money now, you know. So, long story short, let me do a comparison. The first video that I'm going to put up is the way it was stock. The second video, you'll see the aluminum intake now, because I bead blasted it, and then I chamfered all the edges, made sure it was clean inside, and I probably could polish the ports inside to get a little bit more out of it, but we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm kind of really happy with the way this thing revs up now. So anyways, guys, check it out, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, what do you think? You think I'm onto something here or not? A lot of guys throw me under the bus for not knowing calculations and numbers and all this stuff, but I do know what a V8 is. So, and I want you guys to stay tuned, because there's going to be a new V8 in my life, and it's going to be a mystery V8. I can't talk about it. It's more for research and development. So if you guys like what I did here, stay tuned for more cool content, because I don't know, I just love a V8, man. You know, like, I eat, sleep, drink V8s. This is you know, this is, to me, this is a beautiful woman, you know. So anyway, so I hope you guys like the when I said it turned on, it turned on. You could hear the RPM. Now, I did make a plate today to fit on top of this intake manifold. Why I was, you know, playing around there, because I had to do a bunch of ICAR certification classes today, and that's, I have to do that in my line of work now, you know, because that's everything's owned, you know. So, anyways, I got my platinum. I can put that up in my bathroom when I yank the toilet paper. I can look at it and say, hey, guess what? I'm platinum. But like I say, I hope you guys like, you know, what I did here. I'll keep working on this thing to try to squeeze a little bit more horsepower out of it, because like I say, I know these things like the back of my hand, and I would love to see a distributor set up on this. You know, that would be distributor spark plugs. That way you could advance it and retard the timing a little bit there, because if you supercharge this now with the nitro, you're throwing everything into a bucket. You know, it's like, so with the supercharger that they're making for this thing, you know, like, what's it going to do for it? I don't know, because you need the engine to breathe. You know, like I say, it's a giant air pump. The more air and fuel you can put through this thing, the more power it'll make. So I guaranteed I probably up the power and the torque on this engine just by cleaning the ports out a little bit more to make a match. Because anybody knows that, you know, if you watch any kind of hot rod TV or anything like that, the first thing they do is they put the gasket down on the head, and they make the head match the gasket. Then they put the gasket on the intake manifold, and they make a match. So it's a constant solid flow of uninterrupted air. Now, the reason I did not go completely through this intake manifold and I left that separator in the middle was because I was playing it safe. Because once you take it out of there, it's hard to put back in. And I don't know if I could get another intake manifold, because, you know, the way that they sell, you know, I could probably get one, but I wanted to make my version of this first, you know. And if I screwed it up, then I owned it, you know. But the reason I didn't do that was because, you know, that way it's still tunable, and it still has an idle to it, you know. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, you know, like say, throw it out there in the comments or whatever. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. You know, there's this wacky guy out there that does this stuff. I ain't scared, you know. I've done this all my life with big engines, and, you know, it's like, not that I'm bored with them. I still like to take my big engines out and take them for a ride, but there's nothing more satisfying than, it's like a newborn child when you make this better. The first cry of the baby, you know. So anyways, guys, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you want to do. I love to all, and peace, and take care, man. Love you. Adios.